Have you ever noticed something strange? The moment you finally stop checking their profile. The moment you stop waiting for their text. The moment you genuinely begin living your life again. That's when your ex suddenly comes back. A random message. A like on an old photo. A phone call after months of silence. Or somehow, they always seem to appear exactly when you've stopped thinking about them. Coincidence? Carl Jung didn't think so. According to Jung, people remain psychologically connected long after a relationship ends. Not because of destiny. Not because of magic. But because unfinished emotional energy has a strange way of demanding attention. Ironically, the more desperately you wanted them back, the farther they seemed to drift away. Yet once you finally let go, they often began wondering where you went. Today, we'll uncover why your ex suddenly can't forget you after you've truly moved on, and why this has almost nothing to do with them, and everything to do with your transformation. Because sometimes, the person who walks away first isn't the one who wins. The person who finally lets go is. Carl Jung believed that whatever we desperately cling to gains power over us. Think about the weeks after a breakup. Every notification makes your heart race. Every memory feels sacred. Every silence feels unbearable. Without realizing it, you begin revolving your entire emotional world around one person. Ironically, people often sense this. Not because they can read minds, but because human beings naturally detect emotional dependence. Neediness silently communicates one message. I still need you to complete me. And the human mind rarely values what feels permanently available. This isn't manipulation. It's psychology. The more someone believes you'll always be there, the less urgency they feel to return. Jung introduced one of psychology's most powerful ideas. The shadow. Your shadow contains every emotion you've hidden from yourself. After a breakup, many people don't miss their ex. They miss who they believed they were with that person. The future they imagined. The identity they created together. When you refuse to face this pain, your ex continues living inside your unconscious. But something remarkable happens once you begin healing. Instead of chasing answers, you start confronting yourself. You stop asking, why didn't they love me? And begin asking, what part of me accepted less than I deserved? That single question changes everything. Because healing doesn't erase your past. It transforms it. Here's where things become fascinating. Most people think moving on is pretending not to care. It's not. Real moving on happens when your emotional dependence quietly disappears. No fake confidence. No revenge posts. No trying to make them jealous. Just peace. Carl Jung believed that people unconsciously react when familiar psychological patterns disappear. Imagine someone always hearing background music. One day, the music stops. The silence becomes impossible to ignore. That's exactly what often happens after you've moved on. For months, your attention fed their psychological certainty. Then, nothing. Your absence becomes louder than your presence ever was. Not because you're playing games, but because your emotional energy is finally flowing back toward yourself. Here's the irony. Most exes don't miss the relationship. They miss access. Access to your attention. Your affection. Your validation. Your emotional availability. While you were together, those things felt ordinary. After you've moved on, they become memories. And memory is a dangerous storyteller. It edits reality. It removes arguments. It softens mistakes. It highlights laughter. It magnifies intimacy. Suddenly, the version of you they ignored becomes priceless. Not because you've changed overnight, but because distance has changed their perception. One of Jung's greatest ideas was something called individuation. The process of becoming your authentic self. Ironically, many relationships delay this process. We adapt. We compromise. Sometimes, we slowly become smaller to keep someone comfortable. Then the relationship ends. At first, it feels like your world has collapsed. But beneath the pain, something else begins. You rediscover forgotten passions, old friendships, new confidence, unexpected peace. You become someone your ex has never actually met. And here's the paradox. The healthier you become, the less you need their validation. That's precisely when your value becomes visible to them. Not because your worth increased. Because your self-respect finally became impossible to ignore. This is where many people make a mistake. The moment their ex reaches out, they abandon all the growth they've fought for. Suddenly, they're waiting again. Analyzing every message. Reopening old wounds. Remember this. Moving on wasn't meant to attract your ex. It was meant to free you. If they return, wonderful. If they don't, your life still moves forward. That's real power. Because freedom isn't getting the person back. Freedom is realizing your happiness no longer depends on whether they come back at all. Carl Jung once suggested that until we become conscious of what lives inside us, it quietly controls our lives. Perhaps your breakup was never meant to destroy you. Perhaps it was designed to introduce you to the version of yourself you had never met. The version that no longer begs for love. The version that chooses peace over obsession. The version that walks away from anything that requires them to abandon themselves. And here's the beautiful irony. By the time your ex finally realizes what they've lost, you may no longer be the person waiting to be found. Because the greatest revenge isn't making someone regret leaving. It's becoming someone who no longer needs their regret to feel complete. So if you're still holding on, don't chase. Don't force. Don't prove your worth. Become the person you were always meant to be. The right people won't just notice. They'll value you. And the wrong ones will become lessons instead of lifelong wounds. If this video helped you see your breakup from a completely different perspective, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Psyche Sync community, where we decode human nature, relationships, and the hidden psychology that shapes our lives. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and keep mastering yourself.